Vermont Red Pill here, and I have something new for you. I have never made a movie or TV show review on Vermont Red Pill, but I felt compelled that I had to say something about this whole like He-Man thing. The hate that this is getting is just like not shocking necessarily, because I kind of understand why people are upset about it. They are upset because Clownfish, who's a personality on YouTube, he'd gotten a leak. He'd gotten some information about Masters of the Universe Revelations, and he said, this is not about He-Man. He-Man is sitting in the background here. It's all about Teela. This is the adventures of Teela and friends. And Kevin Smith saw it. Kevin Smith, the person who directed and wrote and revived Masters of the Universe, he denounced what Clownfish said. He said it wasn't true, and that Clownfish was lying or mistaken, and he just, I mean, he was defamatory. He was negative. He was mean towards Clownfish. Basically called him a liar. And lo and behold, I'm watching it, and it is the Teela Show. And He-Man is in the first episode. He is in the last episode. But episodes 2, 3, and 4, the only He-Man you got is like flashback He-Man. So it feels a little bit like a bait and switch. Now, whether or not that actually like stops the show from being any good it's all about your own preferences, you know. I feel like I enjoyed it because I knew what to expect. I wasn't lied to by Kevin Smith. I didn't even know really about that particular the dynamic between him and Clownfish. So I did hear from Nerderotic and Friday Night Tights that I should be expecting this, and this. So I'm expecting the Teela Show. I'm expecting the fact that the trailer showed He-Man in it. That even though I saw a lot of He-Man, turns out there won't be a lot of He-Man. So I knew this ahead of time, and I think that's what changed my perspective about this show. There will be spoilers in this, so if you haven't seen it, then you may not want to watch this video. So, spoiler alert. Okay, so, anyway, it's interesting because me and my SO, well, my SO specifically, was saying he didn't know what everybody else was so upset about, and he liked it, and honestly, I liked it too. I thought it was pretty good. Though I will tell you that it revolves around Teela, and Teela is the most dislikable character in the whole entire show. And she's the most dislikable character in the whole series. She's loud, she's obnoxious, she's emotional, she's bitchy, she's unprofessional because she's taking on the position to be like Prince Adam's protector. She's taking over for her father, Duncan. Actually, this is how it all starts. It starts with Teela being appointed the new Man of Arms. I think it's Man of Arms. I'll have to correct it if I'm incorrect. Look at this. Look at that. He's such a baby. Okay. So it all starts off with Teela's big day, right? It's all about Teela. And we've got Skeletor and company doing something off on the side. He-Man gets called to help out, and everybody, all the Masters of the Universe, they show up, and guess what? He-Man dies. Yeah, he dies. He dies because he sacrifices himself to save Eternia / the world, the planet. He sacrifices himself to save his home planet and everybody that he loves that lives on it. So that's noble, sure. And I knew what to expect. I knew that He-Man was going to die twice. I knew that. And spoiler, sure, but I knew what to expect, so I wasn't angry about them killing off He-Man twice. And I think that if you are somebody that you have high expectations, right? Or you got low expectations. I read the reviews are negative. So I watch the show and I assume it's going to be terrible. Guess what? Most of the time it's not terrible. It's great. Or definitely watchable. I thought that Tomorrow Wars was actually pretty decent. I enjoyed it. It was, you know, pop garbage or whatever, but I like Chris Pratt a lot, and I know that Hollywood wants to cancel him, and the left hates him, so they gave his movie terrible reviews, and it wasn't that terrible. So, go figure. This got terrible reviews too. Like, really, really bad Metacritic score, and a really high Rotten Tomatoes score. More Metacritics than Rotten Tomato critics. So it had like a 30 or something like that on Metacritic. And I was expecting it to be absolute crap. The Teela Show, really boring. We were going to have her and her lover stealing all of the spotlight and hardly any He-Man, right? Well, it wasn't so bad that like Teela and her girlfriend stole all the spotlight. The show is literally called Masters of the Universe Revelations. Masters of the Universe. It's not just about Teela. Yeah, a lot of this revolves around Teela, but a lot of it revolves around Duncan and Evil Lyn and the Beastman. I mean, we get cameos from like Merman and Lockjaw and all of these great characters. And I was an 80s baby and a 90s kid. So 80s baby wise, I saw He-Man. I was very, very young and barely remember it, but it was on in the afternoon, so this was after its initial run. It was syndication. And I thought that this looked great. I thought the music was fantastic. Turns out the music was credited to the guy who does The Walking Dead. So he's very good at atmospheric stuff. And you know, you get a feel for that, you know? Things feel serious or lighthearted, most of the time very serious. Anyway, Prince Adam / He-Man sacrifices himself, and there's this sword that gets split in half because Skeletor took one half of it, He-Man took the other half. He-Man was sacrificing himself, but Skeletor went to grab the sword broke in half, and they all exploded. So no He-Man, no Skeletor. Okay. Second episode, we've got, well, actually, let's just say that the king, Prince Adam / He-Man's father, is a dick. What a dick. And his mom knew that Prince Adam was He-Man. Didn't tell her husband. And he was pretty upset. Let's just say he fired Duncan, and Teela was upset about that, and she was like, I'm not gonna do this anymore, and screw you guys, I'm going off to be a mercenary. So the second episode opens up with Teela and her girlfriend, shoot, I can't remember her name, begins with an A, and they are kind of like, you know, they're mercenaries. They get called by the sorceress that they need to save magic, because when the sword broke and He-Man sacrificed himself and everything blew up, the magic is being drained from Eternia. It's not there anymore. So it's up to Teela and friends to get the sword back from wherever it went to with He-Man and Skeletor to try to forge the sword back together. Now that sounds kind of crazy, huh? But that's what this whole storyline is. So Teela and Duncan and Evil Lyn, who is Skeletor's like right-hand woman, she joins the good guys, right? So she's a bad guy, but she's joining the good guys. And Beastman joins with it because where Evil Lyn goes, he goes, right? So this merry group of people, this merry group of men, They go around Eternia and they figure out that one half of the sword is in like the land of the dead. Can't remember exactly what it's called in Eternia, but it's basically the land of the dead, and that's where Skeletor is, and they have to get that half of the sword from Skeletor. Now, Evelyn is able to open up a portal, which makes it so that she uses up like the very little bit of magic that she has to open up a portal that goes to the land of the dead, and everybody goes through it, and Teela has a confrontation with Skeletor, who looks really badass and kind of scary now. And he wants to feed off of her fear. So he says, hey, I'll give you this sword if you show me your fear. And Teela's like, I'm not afraid of anything. Well, of course she's afraid of something, right? And he's feeding off the fear of everyone. He's feeding off of the fear of her girlfriend. He's feeding off the fear of even, like, Evelyn. So, Skeletor gets what he wants, and he hands over the half of the sword, right? So we got half a sword. Great. The next episode, we find out that He-Man is in... Actually, it was the third episode. I don't even know. These are kind of dragged out a little bit. But we find out that He-Man is in Preternia. He's in heaven. And he's in heaven with all of the other champions like him, like that came before him. And he has that half a sword. But they need to forge it, right? So they use a champion to forge it together. But nobody can do it without, like, destroying themselves. So they just happen to have a robot that Duncan created. It was kind of like a brother to Teela. Sacrifices himself to put the sword back together. So now the sword is back together. Magic is going to be potentially back in Eternia, but they've got to get back. And the only way they open a portal again, right? Because they have the magic. So they open the portal, and Prince Adam decides he's going to go with them. But he's told by the other champions that if he goes with them, that he can never come back to Preternia. There's nothing left for him when he dies again. But Prince Adam, who's very, very weak, and they even make fun of him, call him a little flea and everything. I mean, this is He-Man here, but we're picking on He-Man. So anyway, little wimpy Prince Adam, he goes through the portal with all of them back to Preternia. He's like, that's okay. I give up my afterlife basically for the good of my planet. I want to be there to protect it. So it goes through the portal. They all go through the portal. And He-Man needs to return the magic back to the Earth, right? So all he has to do is raise the sword, right? And do the thing. What's the thing? Oh, I have the power! And then right when he's doing it, Skeletor, out of nowhere, just stabs him with the scepter, and He-Man is dead. Probably. We don't know. But he seems like he's dead. Kevin Smith did have a interview or something after this premiered, and he was pretty happy about the fact that he killed He-Man twice. So if he's saying He-Man's dead, then is He-Man dead? And if He-Man is dead and he couldn't go to Preternia, then that's like He-Man is dead. Maybe magic can fix him. I don't know. But if you weren't expecting that, if you weren't expecting He-Man to die twice, then I could see why people were so upset, you know? But if you knew ahead of time, you were prepared. You were prepared and you weren't quite as upset. So there you go. That's what happened. That's how it ended. Skeletor has the sword and has turned himself into like a giant scary skeleton of Skeletor, like a monster, like Super Skeletor, you know, like Super Shredder and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, the Super Shredder. Yeah, that's Super Skeletor now, and he's huge and he's bad. And that's how we end it. So there's another 5 episodes that'll be coming up. Who knows what's going to happen with that? They're going to have to save the world again, right? And I don't know if He-Man is going to be part of it. He-Man might be gone again. But at least this time you can kind of, like, you're prepared for it. You know, you're prepared. He-Man might not be there. It might just be Master of the Universe. It might just be the Teela Show. Maybe Teela turns into She-Man. I don't know. That's like the That's the going theory, is that Teela is going to become the new He-Man. She-Man Teela. So I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. And guys, I don't think it's as bad as people said. I don't think that you need to worry about a whole bunch of like wokeness, social justice warrior stuff. Yes, there is some cringe stuff, and prepare yourself for that. But it's not going to be nearly as bad as you have seen with other people's videos who are so upset about what happened. And I think that they're just sensationalizing it a little bit just because, you know, rage sells. And that's how you monetize things, right? You're like, I hate this. And then other people are like, I hate this too. And then they follow you or they subscribe to you because they hate the same things that you hate. Not necessarily love the same things that you love. They hate the same things that you hate. So I think that there's a little bit of that too. Now, Kevin Smith, you did lie. And I think that you deserve the criticism that you got, because you should have just fessed up, or you should have just said, I don't know, you guys will just have to wait and see what happens when the episodes drop. Instead, you lied and you said it wasn't the Teela Show, when clearly it is the Teela Show, and He-Man does take a seat. He takes a back seat, because we only see him in the first episode and the last episode. All the other episodes are He-Man in flashback, and he's there for less than a minute. So prepare yourself for that, and maybe you will actually enjoy it, because the animation is fantastic, and it's colorful, and the voice acting is great. We got Buffy the Vampire Slayer as Teela. We have Lena Headey from Game of Thrones as Evil Lynn. She's fantastic. Liam Cunningham as Duncan. He's fantastic. He sounds just like Liam Neeson. So, I don't know. Use your own judgment. You make up your own mind. Don't let other people influence what you think and feel about something. If you love He-Man, give it a shot. Maybe you'll love what Kevin Smith did with it. Maybe you won't. But give it a shot. Maybe it's good. Alright guys, that's it for my He-Man review. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I'll have some more reviews in the future. So hit like, hit subscribe if you like what I had to say today. And I will have more political things to talk about in the coming days. So this is not a one-off, but it's not going to happen very often where I'm going to be talking about things like movies and TV shows. But if you liked it, let me know. Maybe I'll make more of them if that's what you guys want to see. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. God bless America. Bye.